Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. It's All Stars 2, y'all. Our house guest of the day is Krista Patton. Krista, thank you so much for the support over the years. We really appreciate it, and we could not do this without you, so thank you so much. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla, as Mom likes to say. So we have a bit of housekeeping to do before we get into the first spoiler of the season. So first of all, welcome. Welcome back if you've been here before. Welcome if you're new. We're in a new, old location. I didn't even realize until yesterday that my usual spot that I do spoilers is no more because we don't have that chair in that location anymore. But this is fun too. We have some videos for you guys to watch, some preseason enjoyment. We have our cast assessment video, we have our house tour video, and we have the first episode chat of the season. So if you guys want to check out any of those, we will post the links in the info box below. And I also want to take a quick moment to apologize because I didn't realize how many ads were in last night's episode chat. We got a comment today being like, why are there so many ads in here? And normally I'd be like, wow, this person thinks like we just do this for fun, like we're not trying to make any money, but like, yeah. So then we looked at how many ads were in the video, and there was literally like 15, and I'm so sorry. We did not do that on purpose. There was some sort of glitch in the like AdSense setting. So if you sat through all those ads, I am so genuinely sorry. We will be checking that every video from now on. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So when the show left off last night, we saw that Cody is the first HOH of the season. And also in that competition, Christmas won $5,000. And we have our first have-nots of the season. Kevin, Memphis, Ian, and Nicole A, aka Unicole. Like a unicorn. I think it's cute. Plus, we have 2 Nicoles this season, so we need to change it up a little bit, right? We don't need any confusion. So, Julie also said there's going to be all sorts of twists this season, tied to all different new rooms in the house. You could just tell the All-Stars and all of us were like, no, because I've heard so many conversations where they're like, I wish they would just let us play like some good old-fashioned Big Brother like they did in the older seasons, right? So first up is going to be the safety suite twist, and apparently there's going to be 2 people safe from eviction. I don't know if this is going to be an ongoing thing or it's just a week 1 thing. Like, how long do each of these twists last? I don't know, but we're going to be talking more about the safety suite in a bit. So we got some live feeds on night 1. This is the first time we've had that other than Big Brother Over the Top, so it's very exciting. And they came on just after 11 p.m. Big Brother time, aka 2 a.m. Way too freaking late on the East Coast, but I did stay up because how could you not? It's All Stars. So when the feeds did come on, a lot of the house guests were just hanging out in the living room, talking about their respective seasons, reminiscing. And I was pleasantly surprised that Big Brother wasn't blocking the feeds when they were bringing up stuff that has definitely been blocked on other seasons. I mean, they're talking about alcohol. Janelle was like, oh yeah, I got so drunk on tequila on my season. And Cody was talking about how he doesn't want to drink this season because during season 16, he like blacked out once, and the next morning he was super paranoid that he was saying all this stuff and like he didn't know, you know what I mean? I'm wondering if that was the night that he was like dressed up as a dinosaur, and that was just such a fun night watching the feeds. But anyway, a lot of them were disappointed that they didn't get any champagne or anything to celebrate the beginning of the season. I mean, this is All Stars, right? But I guess they figured, this is our first night of feeds. Like, we don't need things getting crazy right now. Also, there's a lot to pack into this week. Usually, they start off a season, and the first week is like fashion week in that it's actually 2 weeks long. So this one is actually 1 week. They gotta squeeze in all the activities and all the challenges and everything. So I guess they don't want everybody getting schwasty. All right. So then the house guests were talking about like other players. They were looking at the photos in the photo bedroom and, you know, oh, I was on that season with them, blah, blah, blah. They were talking about players that they thought would be on. Just some of them that they were mentioning were like Eric Stein, Kalia, Lawan, Michelle from BB10. And then, this was interesting, we got more deets on the Shima situation from season 11 because Kevin was on that season with her. So he says she was really upset about the racism in the house, Brayden, and Shima wanted to make a speech about it, but Big Brother censored her. And then he says she just spiraled after that. She thought that Big Brother was rigging the game. I would probably think that too if I was in Shima's situation. And honestly, watching it, a lot of the time it seems that way. But especially for her, I would have been pissed with the whole like coup d'etat twist. But he says like she didn't throw her microphone into the pool. Like she threw it on the ground and it bounced into the pool. So then this conversation brought on the next one. Kevin mentioned that they had some intense bias and sexual harassment training while they were in sequester. Thank you. Like, they should have been doing this all along, but I'm so grateful that they finally did it this season because I'm hoping it's going to make a difference. I feel like this group shouldn't be as problematic as the last few seasons. I'm hoping. But anyway, Janelle also shared something that was like, bleh. She said, I think it was at one of the finales or something, James from season 9, like, came up to her and hit on her while she was, like, pregnant, and he said something so gross to her she didn't even want to repeat it, like, bleh. Yeah. Anyway, let's get some game going, right? Let's talk about what's really going on here. So Kaysar was working it last night. He was having some solid, like, genuine conversations with people, getting to know them, and it was so fun to see Kaysar back in action. So there was one conversation in particular. Kaysar was in the storage room with Nicole Anthony, and he was telling her, you know, I hate the way you were treated last season. You were just trying to set the record straight, and everybody was being super mean to you. So then Kaysar said this, Jim. At the end of the day, I'm a nerd at heart, just trapped in this body. I mean, they were both laughing about it. He wasn't, like, being obnoxious, but it was so funny. So he's telling Nicole, you know, you really handled yourself well with that whole situation. And she was, like, gushing about it. She's like, oh, my God, like, thank you. That means so much coming from you. So she said she just watched season 6 in sequester. It almost sounded like it was the first time she watched it, which was surprising because I thought she was like this big super fan, but maybe she just I don't know, I guess she hasn't seen all the seasons, or maybe she's just like acting like she hasn't. I don't know. But Kaysar's like, I feel like you're very trustworthy. Nicole says she feels the same way about him. Are they laying the groundwork for a future alliance? Maybe. That would be fun to watch. So Nicole says, you know, it'd be so therapeutic if Big Brother would just let me smash a few watermelons right now for last season. And Kaysar was like, yeah, hopefully there are no major watermelon fanatics this year. And Nicole says, yeah, I had enough of that last year. Woo! But then she walked it back and she was like, no offense. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Nicole, you should have said that. We all want to say that. Like, just say it, okay? So then Danny and Nicole F were chatting in the photo bedroom. A lot of y'all are probably going to be upset about this because I know there's a lot of Danny fans watching, and I know a lot of you have really soured on Nicole Frenzel. Is it Franzel or Franzel? I never know how to say her last name. But anyway, these two seem very close. So Nicole shares that she watched back some of season 18 in sequester because she couldn't figure out if she betrayed Devon or if Devon betrayed her in that season, and she wanted the answer to that before she went into the house again. Well, guess what? She realized she effed up. She said it was disgusting to watch herself back that season. She hated it. She did not like how she acted. She said she opened her mouth when she shouldn't have. She shouldn't have told Frank that Day was targeting him. I know, right? So then, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what her relationship is like with Day moving forward. Are they going to work together? Are they going to be enemies? I mean, right now everybody's buddy-buddy, but we'll see what happens in the coming days, weeks, months. So then they were talking about the other all-stars in the house. We got a lot to unpack here. So, like I was saying, Nicole was saying she needs to make amends with Davon. Danny really likes her, so it seems like they want to get something going with her. Danny also really likes Tyler a lot, which she wasn't expecting. And then they start talking about Janelle. So Nicole says that she's going to be sleeping in the same room as Janelle. She wants to keep an eye on her, and she wants to keep an eye on who Janelle is talking to throughout the house. So Danny is saying, like, oh, everyone's fangirling over Janelle and Kaysar being here together. And this conversation starts to feel very catty. I almost feel like, in a way, Danny is, like, jealous of Janelle because they're both, like, Big Brother queens, and I can't help but feel like there's a rivalry there, which makes me sad because I want to see, like, queens support queens, but I don't know, it's not feeling good with that. They both think that Keisha is nice, even though Nicole thought her name was Kesha. Isn't this Nicole also supposed to be a super fan? She didn't know who Keisha was, and she thought her name was Kesha. And Danny was like, that's the singer. So, then they start talking about Memphis. Danny thinks that she's going to be cool with him because his ex-wife was her wedding planner. I don't know. Was it a clean break? Like, I don't know. So, Nicole says that she's cool with Cody. Danny doesn't really know because she's never really talked to him, which makes sense because I feel like Cody, after his season was over, like, he went to a lot of events with, like, his cast and stuff, but I don't think he really mixed with a lot of the other alumni. So it doesn't seem like people have a really good read on him. Like, he doesn't have a lot of relationships within, like, the Big Brother family. So then Danny brings up, oh, I did not want Nicole Anthony to win that HOH competition. She was the only one that I didn't want to win. So then they start laughing about how Nicole asked both of them to be on her podcast separately, and both of them ghosted her. So Nicole says she never even opened the DM from Nicole. Danny says she opened it and just didn't respond. That's so sad. Oh my God. So Nicole also says, like, I never thought that Nicole Anthony would be on because I didn't think they would have two Nicoles on the same season. Really? That's your reasoning? So, Danny doesn't get why David is there. And then they start talking about nominations. They have no idea who's going to be going up. They don't know who Cody's thinking about targeting. The people that they would have put up personally are not even there. I don't know if they're referring to Dan and Derek or if they're referring to, like, Josh and Casey, you know? So then they start saying how Tyler seems shocked that Casey isn't there. I think he actually expressed that to a few people. And Danny really thinks that Tyler seems lost at this point. And you can tell she's really thinking about, like, scooping him up and working with him. Yeah, and like I said, they also thought that Josh was going to be on, and he's not. Okay, so then a little while later, Cody gets his HOH room, and it was just really not a good night for upstairs doors because we saw on the live premiere they could not have not room to open, and now Cody cannot get this HOH door to open. I mean, it usually, like, takes a few tries, I feel like, because they have, like, that thing where Big Brother can lock the door and they have to unlock it for them. But, I mean, they had to, like, block the feeds for a sec while they were, like, fixing it. I mean, they just could not get in there. But eventually they did. And everybody was oohing and ahhing about the HOH room, as they should, because it's gorgeous. And, of course, everybody loved, like, the loft feel and the skylight kind of thing going on. But guess what? Cody didn't get any family pictures or a letter or music. They don't usually do that week 1. The first HOH kind of misses out on that. But he did get lots of snacks, but not alcohol. He, like I said earlier, he's not planning on drinking this season, and he forgot, like, oh, I could give that to other people, and maybe they'll really like that. So he didn't think of that. I think everybody was a little bit bummed, but they had a little casual hangout with everybody in the HOH room. People eventually started to, leave and do their own thing. But later, we get a conversation that we've been waiting for. It's Janelle and Kaysar. Woo! So they were talking in the key bedroom, and Janelle's asking, what do you think is going to happen with nominations? Because, again, like, we are hitting the ground running here. Like, this has got to be happening in the next day or two. They got to get this ball rolling. So Kaysar's like, I don't know. He assumes they're happening tomorrow, but he doesn't know what the plan is. And he also says that he's trying to play a better social game this time. So, I mean, we've seen him in action. We know he's putting in the work. So Janelle says, I feel like I could be in trouble. And Kaysar lets her know, like, you are being a little bit standoffish, so you should probably go and talk to Cody and see what's going on there and make sure you're good. So Janelle's like, I don't know. She thinks that Cody's going to want to work with someone strong because he's not going to be able to play in the next HOH. He's going to want someone who can protect him. Girl, you are freaking Janelle Pierzina. Like, go talk to him. You could be that person. Try and make a deal. But then Janelle tells Kaysar we should not be seen together because we're already huge targets, and the two of us together, lethal. So that's me saying that. It's implied. But Kaysar says, you know what? It's obvious. Like, obviously, we're going to be talking. We're probably going to work together, right? So by us not being seen together, it makes it really awkward and weird for everyone else because they think, like, they should be working together. So they don't seem to agree on that, but that was the end of that conversation. So then, guys, Nicole F. continues to snatch up yo faves. This time, she was talking to Ian in the storage room about working together, and she said, you know what, Ian? We're the two winners, and who's going to want to vote for someone to win a second time? So she brings up Ian's own season. She's like, look, Dan is supposed to be the best player of all time. So many people think that. He makes it all the way to the final 2 again and only gets 1 vote. And Ian's like, I know. That was great for me. But he agrees, like, yeah, that's not great for us, being the only 2 winners this season. So he agrees, yes, we should work together. He's asking Nicole, who do you like in this cast? And Nicole says, well, I really like Memphis. He's cool. And Ian likes Nicole Anthony and Kevin. And Nicole's like, yeah, Kevin's cool. I'm a little bit worried that you, Nicole, is going to play both sides. Of course you're worried about that, Nicole F. So Christmas interrupts the conversation, which was a bummer because I wanted to hear more of that. All right, so then there was a late night check-in. This is very important between Cody and Tyler in the HOH room. And Cody's like to Tyler, you already know I got you this week. So earlier in the day in the storage room, Cody and Tyler were in there. And Cody's asking Tyler, are you ready to run through this house together? And right as he was saying that, Kaysar, as Cody says, walked in. I don't know if he actually caught what was being said, but they were all proud of how Tyler tried to play it off and cover it up, like they were talking about, like, running through all the food in the storage room. So they were like, do you think he heard? But yeah, Cody says for this week, he's not planning on, like, initiating conversations with people. He's going to see who comes to him, who makes his job easier this week. He's not going to be like, you come up to my room, now you come up here. He's going to see what happens. So it seems like these two are pretty solid, and it seems like there wasn't a ton of effort put in to get here, unless there was some, like, preseason happenings. I don't know. Maybe it was just, like, guy code. I don't know. But after Tyler left the room, Cody was like, let's go. So the transformation is happening, you guys. Cody is now Tyler's Casey, sorry. And Tyler is Cody's Derek. It's happening. Yeah, so just the overall vibe of last night. Seems like everybody's playing nice right now. Nobody wants to be the one to make waves this early in the game. Nobody wants to be the first one to be like super sneaky and like throwing people's names out there, because they all know that person usually doesn't make it very far. That's not a good way to start things off typically. So everybody's being really nice and passive at this point, but we'll see how long that actually lasts. So then this morning, Big Brother put up the memory wall pictures. Yay! I think they were all saying how these photos were taken with like iPhones and stuff because they couldn't have like their usual photo shoots. I mean, it looked fine to me, I guess. But back to the game. Janelle is nervousing big time. So she's talking to Bailey in the lounge, and I have to say, the first second I saw the lounge, I was like, hey, where'd that Nicole and Victor pillow come from? That wasn't there before. So I wonder if she like complained, or what if maybe this is what happened. Maybe they didn't have one in there, and then after the house tour was released, maybe everybody was like, oh my God, like everybody online was like, there's no Nicole and Victor pillow, like she's gonna be pissed. So then maybe production was like, we need a Nicole and Victor pillow stat. So I don't know what happened there, but there is now, maybe we just missed it on the tour and it wasn't in any of the shots. I don't know, but interesting. So yeah, Janelle and Bailey are in the lounge, and Janelle says she's really worried. She's thinking she might be going up because she doesn't know Cody. You know, Janelle has a pretty good relationship with a lot of people that have played before, but she doesn't have anything going on with Cody. And Bailey says, yeah, none of us really do, which is true-ish. I mean, Cody has played with Nicole before. They're pretty tight. They got like a brother and sister thing. Nicole also played with Polly, so she's kind of like their sister. I don't know. Also, Davon played with Polly. They didn't have a great relationship, but still, you know, they're in season family. You know what I mean? I don't know. Weren't they also on the challenge together? So there is a connection there somewhat. But for the most part, a lot of people don't really know Cody that well. So Janelle and Bailey agree. Everybody's being super nice and mellow at this point. Eventually, somebody's going to sneak off and stir things up. So then back to talking about Cody, Bailey says Cody is a guy's guy. They see that Tyler is like his right-hand man now. They see that Enzo is all up in there. Good read, ladies. Good read. So yeah, they are trying to figure out how they're going to make this work. I mean, you could start by talking to him. That probably would be a good start. I don't know. So then Danny and Nicole F game chat. Should we go with Nick? I know she said she's cool with that nickname, and it's just annoying saying Nicole F all the time. I don't know. So they're in the bathroom area, and Nicole says we should really set something up with Davon and Christmas to protect ourselves next week. And Danny's like, yeah, I like Day and Bailey. She thinks that those two are friends in real life, and they're kind of trying to downplay that so they're not a target. She says there's going to be a lot of that. A lot of people downplaying relationships. A lot of people downplaying their previous accomplishments in their other seasons. So they got to be on the lookout for that. But then they also start talking about who the targets should be. So Danny says that Janelle and Kaysar should be the biggest targets. That's a power duo. I mean, she's not wrong, but it's also like, because I wanted them to work together. But she's worried that people are going to be too starstruck to target the two of them. I don't know. Cody seems to give 0 Fs because he doesn't know who they are. So then Danny is chatting with Day in the photo room because, you know, Danny and Nicole were just talking about potentially working with Davon. So they want to start building that relationship up. I mean, Nicole has got to like fix some things that have happened in the past too, right? She's got to make sure they're still good. But anyway, first Danny's like, all right, Day, tell me about your life. You know, we haven't really talked about that much yet. So Day is talking about all of her acting adventures and stuff like that, which is pretty interesting. And then they establish that they like each other. Nice. I like that. So then there was a similar game conversation here where Danny is saying that the pairs should be targets. You got Janelle and Kaysar. You've got Memphis and Keisha. I mean, you should also be saying Nicole and Cody, but she's not because she's working with Nicole. But Day says like, yep. So then they're both agreeing that they like Tyler. They were expecting him to be working with Casey, and they were really nervous about that because that was going to be another big power duo. But again, Danny is saying Tyler is walking around here shocked, shooketh. He was really expecting Casey to be in here, and now he's like a lost puppy. They're also worried about Enzo's social game. I mean, yeah, Enzo's getting along great with everyone, and they really feel like he could just do nothing and make it like all the way to the end. Something to worry about, right? Something to keep track of. So meanwhile, we've got everyone's favorite Nicole F. Nick. She's up in the HOH room with Cody, and she's like, so are we like ride or dies? And Cody says, oh yeah, 100%. I want to know what's real. Because we've seen now that Nicole is very close to Danny. We've seen that Cody is very wanting to work with Tyler. Like, what is the order of operations here? Who is loyal to who? I can't wait to get some diary room action. So Nicole's ideal plan here that she presents to Cody, she would like for there to be a guys alliance and a girls alliance, not started by either of them because they don't want to get in trouble for that if it ever comes out. Cody is hoping that Enzo will start something, and Nicole is hoping that Danny will start the girls alliance. But yeah, Nicole wants, guys alliance, girls alliance, and then the two of them can exchange info because they're going to be like ride or dies. So like, how this would go. This is how this will go down if this actually happens. Nicole will sell out all the women over and over and over again to Cody. He's going to share all the information with guys. They're going to pick off the women. And Cody is not going to, choose Nicole over the guys' alliance. So Nicole's just going to, sell out all the women, and then the guys are just going to, steamroll. I don't want to see that. I'm just saying that sounds likely. But anyway, Cody is now talking about who he might target this week. And he says, you know what? Kaysar is talking a lot. Stop. Nicole didn't even know his name. I don't get it! So then Cody says he's thinking about putting up Kaysar and Janelle. Or maybe even Kaysar and Keisha, and then Janelle is the replacement if the veto is used. But Nicole is really encouraging him, no, you should be putting up Kaysar and Janelle, because do you really want to take out Keisha on your HOH? What if Janelle wins the veto and saves Kaysar? So she's really pushing, just like Danny, for Janelle and Kaysar to be going up on the block. No. Okay, so then the feeds go down for 30 minutes, and well, I want to let you guys know that the short-term feeds blockage screen is that star artwork that they have on the custom tin artwork that Julie kept hyping up in the house tour. And then the extended feeds outage, it's the puppies and kitties. They're back. I'm so happy they're back. I love it so much. So it's puppies and kitties that are up for adoption. Amazing. So yeah, while the feeds were down, the house guests were briefed on the safety suite twist. And when the feeds came back, we see Kevin, Tyler, Janelle, and Bailey all wearing VIP passes. So at first it was whoa, what happened? Did they already do this competition or what? What's going on? But no, it seems like they all got the passes like Julie mentioned in the first episode, and they were just the ones that were still wearing them. But basically, it seems like there's going to be some sort of competition before the nomination ceremony. And the house guests can choose if they're going to compete or not. The winner will be safe, and then I'm pretty sure they have to pick somebody else to be safe as well. It also seems like there might be some sort of punishment if you choose to compete and you lose. So, I mean, they don't want it to just be this throwaway thing, I have nothing to lose, I'm going to compete. Because, think about it this way. If you are choosing to compete, you're also kind of sending a message to the HOH, I don't really trust you. I might be in trouble this week. And if you win, yes, you're safe, but you're also saying, this is my ally. I'm keeping them safe. So there's pros and cons, but I mean, if you really feel like you're in trouble, you should definitely be playing this. Janelle and Kaysar. So yeah, like I said, this should be happening before nominations. I'm wondering too if this twist is a multi-week thing and it's like you can only compete in the safety suite comp once over a few weeks, you know what I mean? Or if this is like a one and done thing. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So after all that, Tyler and Bailey check in the photo room. And this is another conversation that I was curious to see play out because we know they had some issues on season 20. I think they're like cordial in the real world, but I don't know that they're like best friends. So basically they're saying like, okay, let's let people think that we're against each other, but we're good. You know, if everybody thinks that we're going after each other, they're not going to come after us because they think we'll just take each other out. So they both seem to agree like that's a good idea. Tyler apologizes for being rude on their season, and Bailey's like, don't be mean to me. And Tyler's like, I won't. I don't know. Are they really going to work together, or are they just saying that because they're trying to, like, play it safe right now? You know, I don't know what would happen if either one of them were in power. I feel like there's probably bigger fish to fry at this point, but I don't know. It would be really fun to see them work together. I'd be all for that. So then Tyler was really on a roll here. He's talking to Christmas, and Christmas is like, real quick, this is my plan. The two of us just separate. No one's going to know that we're working together. We're going to honor our ride or die deal and like meet up together on finale night. What? What is going on here? From their conversation, it sounds like there was a pregame Final Four deal with two of them, Josh and Casey. And now they're like, what? Because Josh and Casey are not in the house because, I mean, it seems like it's because they were partying in Miami without masks, so, you know. I don't know, but I mean, that's not confirmed, but, so anyway. Yeah, it sounds like there was a pregame deal, and now they're like, yeah, we should stick with the deal, even though it's just the two of us. Tyler's up to his old tricks, man. He's got final two deals with, like, everybody already. Then Tyler was talking to David, and Tyler's asking him, are you ready to ride this out? We can get there. There was a handshake. Did he just make another final two? Like, what is going on? And this was all in the span of, like, I want to say less than an hour. Maybe, like, less than half an hour. I don't even know. So, yeah. That's where we're at right now. The safety suite competition should be happening later today, I'm assuming, or tonight. The house guests are going to have to decide if they're going to compete or not. Is it worth it? Like, are you in trouble? Should you do this? I don't know. But yeah, it could be really, really important for the two players that gain safety. So I know we all say that we hate twists, right? But then the second that we hear Janelle and Kaysar could be in trouble, it's like, no! And Keisha, obviously, but I feel like she's not in as much danger. So yeah, I'm assuming nominations are probably going to be tomorrow if they're doing the competition today. And yeah, just check back later just in case. Usually, if there's like a nomination ceremony or like a competition or power veto, whatever, I usually put in the info for the spoiler that day who won, so that you guys don't have to wait until the next spoiler to find out. So yeah, if there's supposed to be something big like that happening, just check out the info, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think about all this. I know it's a lot to take in. It's the first day, super exciting. So let me know what you're thinking, and until next time, much love.